I love the way they started, okay? So let me back this up. First play of the game, let's put it in their heads. Okay, so we'll go tight end hipped off, backs offset to the left. Okay. So something's wrong there, right? Because if the tight end's hipped off, he's probably going, it looks like he's going backside, but the running back's on the wrong side for him to go, run the split flow. We bring Jaden Reed over, and the tight end reaches the outside backer here. Safety's back. Just flip it to Jaden Reed. First play of the game. We've been talking about it. He's been their running game. And I don't mean that from a volume standpoint, but he's our Deebo Samuel. He's become our Deebo Samuel. He's the guy that if you need somebody to break a big play in the running game, you give him the ball. Now, I guess technically this is a pass because he flipped it forward, but you get my sentiment. So now safety has to come down and make the play at 9 yards. This is what a way to start the game, because what do we know already? First of all, I want to talk about the speed of motions is really good. Christian Watson yesterday, the speed of their motions was really good. But we know that this team likes to pressure off the edge. What is the easiest way to get rid of the pressure? It's get the ball outside really, really fast. Okay, so just send in a message early. Fantastic. Under center play action pass. We talked about it. It simplifies the game for our quarterback. It creates less of a need to have really, really high level pre-snap indicators. Watson does a 20-yard comeback here. Absolute dime. See, he steps into that throw. Absolute dime. It just makes the game so much easier. We'll show another one here. So I wanted to show this play. We brought our fullback in, and they run an end around and they do a quick toss, and they're pulling Zach Tom. This is important because they're going to use this play. They use this play, this formation, and they show it here, and then they're going to run play action off of it later and hit the crossing route on Tucker Kraft, right? And it's just a great marriage from a play caller, from Matt LaFleur play caller standpoint. Great marriage because this is a fantastic play. We saw this last year with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. 44 gets out ahead, and we get another good run. Second 5 coming across the ball with motion. They rock and roll this a little bit. We go under center. We talked about it in the pre-show. The Kansas City Chiefs are trying to fill gaps. They bite hard on under center play action pass. Packers, I know that Coach LaFleur and the staff watches this show every week. They probably didn't make their game plan until after it came out on Thursday. Thank you guys. No thanks necessary on my end. But they attack the line of scrimmage. Jordan Love just flips it over. Easy throw, easy catch. First down, fantastic job. Might have to here. This is what I mean by this is because we can run the football, and because Jordan Love's hitting the gimmies, starting to hit the gimmies, you got to keep these plays going early, even if they might not work. Like this is the second time they've run a very similar play in the first drive. They run it later. They run a couple of end arounds to Watson. One works, one doesn't. But the point is, it's going to become part of your offense. It's like it's a running play for you. And that's a big deal because it takes pressure off the offensive line. It takes pressure off the quarterback. And it keeps pressure on a team that likes to mix it up at the line of scrimmage. So even though this play isn't for big yards, you might have to just keep running these things, okay? I really like the backside block here from Elgin Jenkins and Rasheed Walker. Backside B is huge. Both those guys, they displace and they cut off the linebacker who overcommits. AJ gets down to the line. And look, clearly the Chiefs didn't watch the show. We talked about under center play action again. They bite. Sims gets his first touchdown, 1-yard catch, does a Lambeau leap. Good time for everybody. Now, that's what I'm talking about. McDuffie's out. We're back to catching. And this isn't, listen, all these guys are professional athletes. All these guys are people that are working hard to be really good at what they do. There's a mindset shift that some people have and some people don't. Some people are going to play to their skill sets. Some people are going to, and they have different skill sets. If we are not downhill attacking against what's the strength of the Kansas City Chiefs offense? It's their interior offensive line, right? Creed Humphrey and company, they're really, really good. Outside guys, not very good. Donovan Smith went out. That's even bigger problem for 64 is in. Real problem for them. Those guys are good inside. So if you're going to let them double and get up on the second level, and you're not going to be a attack and a great stack and shed guy, you're going to get run over because Vistu Pacheco is one of the angriest looking runners I've ever seen in my life. He's just nasty. So we get the first fall forward for 7. And it continues on really the whole game. Pacheco here. And look, this is a really hard open field tackle. I think what all I'm saying is break down, shoulder contact and drive. You're hugging and holding. And I'm not saying this is easy, but there's a different mentality with different players. Quay's got incredible range. He's instinctual. He's great in the passing game. But if you need a dude to stop, hey, we don't want to give up 150 anymore, put the other kid in. This is it. Look at that. Look, cornerback coming up. Valentine, great job. Enigbari. If you're going to say anything, I'm not going to start saying that they're swarms of the football like they never have before. I don't think that. I think they've always worked hard, right? But again, you see there's a handful of guys on this team. Nixon right now is the one that stands out maybe the most last night of dudes that just, when it's time to come downhill, they come downhill. When it's time to thump up, and listen, Nixon got pushed back too, but it's not because he's not giving it everything he has. He's not catching. He's trying to be the hammer, right? Everybody's got to try to be the hammer when we're coming to tackle. That reminds me of a play when Matt Hasselbeck was he was the holder. We were in Kansas City kicking a PAT, and we did a fake field goal, went for 2. And he passed it to Jeff Tomlinson and everybody was going over to celebrate. And Haas did this, like he was going to jump up on the pile, moved, and he jumped up and face flopped right on the floor, man. It's terribly funny. Talk about pass rush lane integrity. And, this guy's the best in the league, regardless of last night or, he's the best in the league till somebody usurps him, maybe Joe Burrow. But they run an ET game down or TE game, on the top of the screen. And we get caught going. Devontae White gets caught going inside. Go back and show this. And you can't allow, talked about, if Patrick Mahomes sees this exit, now he can turn his shoulders, get downhill. Good for the Chiefs, bad for the Packers. Just got to be really smart about our rush lane integrity. It's not always going to be perfect, and he's going to be able to escape, but it can't be that easy. You look at it here. Rashawn Gary takes the inside, gets pushed down. And now he's got Convoy. Creed Humphrey's up on Quay. I think he's running spy. And now he makes another huge play on a 3rd down. And it's because he gets his shoulder pads pointed towards the line of scrimmage. This is what we talked about in one of the keys to victory last Thursday. You got to be just so disciplined and not give him the opportunity to turn his shoulders back. I show you this play because we got up on the linebacker. He's at the second level. You see the separation between the line of scrimmage, like the scrum, and our linebacker. We want that 2 yards, 3 yards closer to the line of scrimmage. Okay? Why? Because it takes away cutting lanes for the running back. You have a lane you're supposed to fill. You have responsibilities. It's not like they roam back there and just do whatever they want. You got to attack this and be able to get off it because, again, this is a Pacheco easy run, big play for him in the game. These are the things where if you want to get better, it's first drive. If you're trying to send a message with your physicality. Now, we end up doing that here with the defensive line. Big deal. Van Ness gets his, I think, second sack of the career. I think he had a chase down early in the first game of the season. So 64 is in the game. Van Ness is probably the least developed pass rusher on the team, quite frankly. And he'll get better and all of that. This is not a bad mouth. He just is. It's the same rush every time. But the good news is he works his ass off. And because Enigbari down here pushes Juwan Taylor to the point where Patrick Mahomes can't escape forward and he has to go out the back end. Van Ness just runs the corner and gets his second sack of the year. And it's that easy. Don't let him escape. Okay, you're not going to make this play all the time, but the chance of Van Ness running the loop and catching him on the backside is a hell of a lot better than him trying to redirect from where he's at if Patrick Mahomes tries to shoot through the A or the B gap. Now, I wanted to point this out. I thought this was odd. Are we shaving our armpits now? Because I was always a non-shave armpit guy when I was playing, but maybe that's a new trend. And now we got Rashawn Gary, who, listen, Juwan Taylor, he got paid a ton of money to come over here. And they got to be thinking, like, what did we do? So that's a terrible – so he kicks flat. And right at the first kick, I guarantee you, if you asked Rashawn, when did you know he was beat? He would say his first step was terrible. And he's just in a position to get beat like a drum. Look at that angle. Great job. And then great job by Kenny here staying with it. And then Rashawn finishing up for another sack. He's just playing so high level right now. He's elite, elite, elite. Keeping him honest. Okay, we just showed this play. This is the start of the second quarter. So this is really the second series. So you just showed the play. 44 comes up at the top. They run the quick toss. Everybody bites. And now you see Tucker Kraft open for the crossing route. This is what, when you talk about how to construct an offense so that everybody feels like, man, I can't, like, it's almost like I can't wait till they call that play. You run the toss crack with the lead blocker. Then you fake it and you run the drag because the defensive end and the linebackers are all going to be staring at the ball as soon as they see 44 go in motion, where their eyes are just going to go to the left. Tucker Kraft takes it out the back door. He had a great game last night. Under center play action. They bring 5. They don't get home. Rasheed Walker slips a little bit. Could have been a takedown, 2 points. It happens. End up with a big tato away. I mean, this kid, it's like in the spring, you didn't even know he was on the team. What a find. What a find for Goody. Okay, first touchdown for Watson. So they're bracket coveraging. I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm sure everybody else is sitting there, and you go, how the hell did he get so open? If I was going to cover anybody down here, I'd cover him, especially on like a crossing route, right? Well, so they bracket him. You see the safety staring at him right here. But because Jordan Love buys a little bit of time, steps up in the pocket, the eyes go to the quarterback, and then there's nobody in the back of the end zone. So Watson's like, okay, well, you guys don't know that I'm faster than everyone on this field right now. And Jordan Love just stands a flat-footed spot, perfect pass. It's fantastic. Now, the referees are having a really, really tough time, and there's a number of reasons for it. I think number one, the way that they're legislating skill out of the game, the way that they're legislating these big hits out of the game, it makes it difficult for these guys. Okay, I get that, but Creed Humphrey gets a holding call here, and I'm an offensive lineman first. Listen, I'm Packers fan, Chiefs, whatever, but he's got TJ Slayton just absolutely gloved up. Both hands are inside, gloved up. Can't do it any better. Sat on his bull. Can't do it any better. Mahomes runs for a first down or darn near it, and they call holding on him. And listen, great for the Packers. It ended up being a field goal. That's great. I don't like watching this because there'll be a play later on. Rasheed Walker, the same thing happens to him when Jordan Love escapes to the outside. And I got to sit there and listen to Chris Collinsworth, whoever's on TV, talk about like Jordan Love's making up for the mistakes of everybody else. It's like, it's not it at all. That's not how this game is played. Quarterback leaves the pocket. It's a free-for-all. Now, every week it seems like my defensive MVP, Preston Smith, gets another Preston Smith appreciation post. Donovan Smith comes back in the game, the left tackle, very quickly beats him, gets around the corner, gets a sack on Mahomes. And we get the great celebration. You just can't say enough about the job that some of these guys do. Like not unsung heroes, but what a great player. Need this. Okay. Josh Myers at the end of the play. Just dump him. Just dump him. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again in real time. Just dump them. Listen, I want to see so much more of that. What you're starting to see is a little bit of that. We just call it. You used to call it. You had a little shit to you. You're starting to see some of these guys, Keyshawn Nixon, obviously Preston and Rashawn Gary, Isaiah McDuffie when he's in the game, Rudy Ford when he's in. You're starting to see some of these guys. Okay, offensive line wise, you want to see that. Who's the guy? Who's the guy that's just gonna? You see Runyon trying to do it sometimes, right? You got to be able to dominate physically a little bit more consistently, I think, to be that guy. Jenkins could be this guy if he wanted to. He's got that physical tool set where he puts people in bad positions sometimes. But who's going to be that? How do we take that next step? Who's going to be that guy?